What's up, Aquarius? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tawny Michelle. On this channel, I do astrology videos, and I'm going to start doing tarot card readings for the month of December. If you like these videos and want more astrology videos, give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already, go check out November's Aquarius video because I added a lot of information in there to do with 2019 and a little bit into this month as well. Some other things I'm not going to be mentioning in this video might also be in the Aquarius video from last month, and you can just go back and see, you know, why you might have went through some of the things you went through in November if you go rewatch that video, and it might give you some clarity. I know it always gives me clarity to go back and watch at the end of the month. Also, I am doing super affordable birth chart readings right now starting off. All the information for that is linked in the description below. So get comfy, grab a snack, and let's get into this video. So Aquarius, December starts off with Venus moving into Scorpio, which is your 10th house of career and the public and how people see you. If you want a little bit of insight on this, like what Venus is going to kind of be like for you in Scorpio, Venus was actually in Scorpio before it retrograded back into Libra most of the month of September. So if you think back to like the 9th and then think into, you know, the rest of September up until very early October, Venus was in Scorpio, about where it's going to be at. So things that may have been started then, or some themes that may went on then, may be coming back around for you, or may have already came back around for you. Venus is here to start working and then finish the work in Scorpio again. Also, with Mercury coming back on the other end of Scorpio, moving backwards because it's retrograding and going back into Scorpio from Sagittarius, these two planets are actually covering a transit that Saturn did back from 2012 to 2015. If you want to go and remember those years of your life really quick, they were some crazy freaking years. Probably had a lot to do with your career because, like I said, Scorpio is your 10th house of career. It can also be about power, community, reputation, and Saturn is the planet of karma. It is the planet of restriction, authority, and things like that. So Saturn really made some life-changing events happen in those years when it wreaked havoc through Scorpio. And now we have Mercury and Venus here, and I personally believe that this transit of Mercury and Venus being in Scorpio, they're covering the Saturn transit, and both Venus and Mercury are benefic planets. Saturn is a malefic planet. So I believe that these two planets are healing some of the things that we went through in 2012 and 2015 and what Saturn all did in those years. So you could be seeing some similar things being brought up from those years, but like maybe some past things being brought up from those years that you haven't really like all the way went through yet. You could be seeing some things or getting some closure to do with some things that happened in those years for you, Aquarius. Also, with Venus being in Scorpio altogether, being in your 10th house, I really think this is going to bring some very good new opportunities for you because Venus is the planet of relationships, money, creativity. I think that you might be feeling really creative when it comes to your career, your work life. I think that you might be, you know, wanting to take on new projects. You might feel like deeply inspired almost to take on new things, to do new things. There could be a lot of new people coming in your life, in your career life. I feel like there could also be new opportunities within your career, maybe a raise, maybe a new position opens up. Venus is going to be here until January 20th or 21st, I believe. Sometime towards the end of January, Venus is going to be here until then, bringing you all sorts of new opportunities in your career life. So that is a really, really good thing, Aquarius. Venus and Scorpio, even though it is your 10th house, Venus does rule relationships. So either way, I feel like, you know, this could bring about some things to do with your relationships as well. This could bring about some deep conversations, some intensity, maybe some things that you weren't very sure about, some things that it could be bringing up some like insights or some truths This could be beginnings and endings with relationships. Now that doesn't always mean like a breakup or something. It very well could be. With you, Aquarius, I think that that's not, with all the other aspects going on, I don't know. I don't think, you know, like, of course, like some of you could be going through that, but I think for the most part, I'm not really seeing that with all the other aspects going on. And I don't really like to tell people like, oh, your relationship is going to be over, unless like it's very, very heavily. And even then I would probably word that a little bit differently, because, you know, some of the astrologers I listen to, it's always like, oh, you know, the relationship you're in is probably going to end, and then it's like going just fine. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm fine, you know what I mean? So, I mean, everybody's birth chart is different. So all of these things I talk about in these videos are going to play out a little bit differently for everybody. You might be able, some of them might like mold into something else. Some of them might be taken away and, you know, other stuff added, just things like that. So just keep that in mind, and make sure you're also checking out your rising and moon sign videos as well. With it being in Scorpio, your 10th house and Venus being here, this could also be about endings in careers. You know, you might decide like you're done with one, you know, one particular career path and maybe choose another one. Or, you know, you could have some kind of transformation in the one that you're in. Like I said, you can move, have a different position or move to a different position, or figure out that you want to do something else other than your position at your career or your job. So yeah, definitely things like that going on here for this month, Aquarius. You might want to do a lot of thinking, because Mercury is going to be in Scorpio as well before it moves back to Sag towards the end of December. So with Mercury here as well, you might be feeling like almost like very communicative when it comes to your career life and, you know, the public and the people that are around you at your job and stuff like that. You could be doing a lot of thinking about your job or your career path and what you want to do next and where you want to expand to and things like that. If you've been working your ass off at your job for a while now and doing things that you may not have really wanted to do, just biting the bullet, Aquarius, I think that this month it could really pay off. I think that you may get the recognition that you deserve. Then on December 7th, we are going to have a new moon in Sagittarius. So Sagittarius for you is your 11th house of groups, social circles, goals, ambitions, things like that. So around this new moon, you may have some like new people come into your life, some new social circles, some things like that. You may find that you share the same feelings as other people around you do. You may find some people that share the same beliefs and thoughts as you and see things the way that you do, or want the same things that you do. You might find people that you have a lot in common with, but then you also may run into some people that, you know, or it could be the same people that you run into that, you know, see things the way you do, but you guys might, you know, disagree on some of the details, you know, but it's important not to like freak out over the details, Aquarius. It'll be okay. Like, as long as you guys have like the same goal or the same vision, you guys will get there. So just don't freak out about any like small disagreements you guys have on details or about details of certain things. So then on December 22nd, we are going to have a full moon in the sign of Cancer. Cancer for you is the 6th house of health, daily routine, work, structure, things like that. This full moon is going to be powerful because it is happening on December 22nd, which is the winter solstice and which is also the shortest day of the year. But this full moon in Cancer is going to bring a lot of insight to do with the things that I mentioned a minute ago: health, daily routine, work, things like that. I think it's going to bring a lot of clarity, a lot of closure to maybe do with some things. This could have something to do with like security, your security within your work life or your home life or your health. I think this is going to be a very powerful full moon. I think it's going to bring a lot of clarity and insight, like I said. This full moon is going to bring things to light for you, Aquarius. So if you've been, you know, kind of confused about things or career paths or, you know, work or things within work, I think this new moon is going to bring you some answers, Aquarius. So that is pretty much it for your astrology videos. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if this reading has resonated with you so far, Aquarius, and how you feel about it. Let me know if you are excited for December and all of the upcoming stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!